Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day as we are continuing our coverage of Superman number 5, the third story, Luthor's Incense Menace. This is actually a really weird story, but hey, Luthor is back, so usually that means some sort of quality, or at least an interesting threat. In a rare move, the introductory panel, which I've explained before, has Superman doing something and just kind of explains who Superman is, but rarely has anything to do with the actual plot, is part of the plot. As George Taylor tells Clark Kent how the economy is essentially collapsing because financiers are reporting on the economy being bad. All of them have seemingly gotten together to say the economy is going to go bad, there's going to be homelessness and chaos because of this. So he wants Clark to go interview a financier to find out why they're doing this. He goes and interviews several of them, and each one he smells like this weird incense burning. All of them have the same smell. It's really odd. But none of them are able to give him a really good explanation. After leaving one named Gregory's office, Gregory calls somebody, and when Clark is heading back to the Daily Planet, a plane flies by to bomb it. He of course becomes Superman, bright blue costume, red cape, Superman, and catches all the bombs before they can hit the planet, sending them back at the plane, fixing the whole situation. He goes back and visits Gregory, figuring out that only Gregory could have done this. Gregory then commits suicide to make it look like Clark did it, and tells Clark right beforehand that he's going to be accused for the murder. Sadly, he doesn't know that Clark is Superman, so as Superman, he uses his superpowers to get out of that office and then arrive after the police arrive, so it doesn't seem like he had anything to do with it. You would think Luthor, who we already know is going to be behind all of this, would have thought that suspicious. Really odd what he finds suspicious and not suspicious. So basically, Gregory died for nothing. Wow. What a useless life, if you think about it. He ended up killing himself to frame Clark Kent, and that didn't work. Hell is just going to be full of people making fun of this asshole. Clark then visits the office of another financier, Broden Mosley. The office is empty when he arrives, and he walks over to a curtain where he can smell the weird incense is coming from and opens it. There is a bust of Luthor's head smoking a cigarette. There's a lot of reasons this might be the case. He went about using a hypnotic smoke and needing a speaker to make his commands at the person, but it's still a very weird idea. My assumption, and you gotta follow me here, is that Luthor is secretly working for an evil corporation. Everyone else's division is going to get a budget increase next year. Luthor needs to use all of his this year budget so he can get an increase next year, and he still has millions of dollars before he can get through it. So after one of his henchmen came up and pitched the idea of like a smoke that hypnotizes people and a speaker to control people, why don't we just make like a bust, an articulate bust of my head, and we put the cigarette smoke in that in the speaker. And the henchman didn't question this idea because Luthor has a tendency to throw people into acid. And that probably killed a lot of money. Other than that, it's just a really weird idea with these ingredients for this plan. So that makes him a great foil for Superman, because Superman has some crazy ideas of what to do with his powers to solve a problem. Broden Mosley shows up with his hoodlums. Siegel is really into calling henchmen hoodlums at this point in comics. So the hoodlums grab Clark and throw him down an empty elevator shaft. He, of course, is once again Superman. So Superman arrives back into Broden Mosley's office and confronts him. This is where he finds out that Luthor has been using this hypnotic smoke and the speaker so they can all predict that the economy is going to collapse, so it actually does. And with the chaos from that, he's going to somehow rule the world. I don't know. He should really be attacking a lot more financiers than just Metropolis. I think he needs to workshop this plan a little bit more with his henchmen. Now that Mosley has told him this plan, Luthor has created the suggestion if anyone betrayed him, they have to immediately commit suicide. So he runs out the window and jumps. Superman jumps after him, and instead of, just catching him and bringing him down to the street safely, he throws him back into the office window. And comes back in and is a little surprised that, he knocked the dude unconscious. Because what else was going to happen when a guy had fallen 20 feet and you threw him back in through the window, Superman? Sometimes he does things and Like, you have to ask why, but it is kind of hilarious. Luthor has a big meeting coming up with all the financiers. Mosley needs to be there. So, Superman, with Mosley unconscious, does what you would expect Superman to do. He contorts his face to look just like Broden Mosley. Excuse me, what? Yeah, this is one of those issues where Superman has this insane superpower that he will never have again. I am pretty sure he will never have this power again. Superman can apparently contort his face to look like anyone, and even his hair turns gray for some reason. If he's had this power the whole time, there were so many issues where this could have come in handy. Like when he disguised himself as that football player. Or, I've never had a big issue with the Superman disguise, the glasses. He's trying to make himself into like the most non-person no one's paying attention to, and it works most of the time. But if he can do this, why isn't like Clark and Superman like completely different faces? Other than, I guess it would take some time to contort your face like that. And when you have to change into Superman, it would kill some time, and you might not save the person when it's a close call. But still, this feels like a superpower that would have come in handy before. And luckily, we never see it again, because I think they realize that this power is kind of a problem. And way too OP for Superman. And it also just doesn't work. He goes to the meeting with the other financiers. There's probably maybe 20 in Metropolis, judging by the size of this room and everybody in there. And they meet Luthor. He tries to pretend he is Mosley, but Luthor sees through it immediately. So this power, like that guy committing suicide earlier, was completely useless. And maybe that's why he never uses it again. Luthor then tries to grab him. He had no better idea to deal with Superman if he showed up in this meeting. Superman, of course, immediately takes control of everything. He's beating up everybody. Luthor then escapes through an airplane that is in the building. The building actually collapses so his airplane can fly out of it, which had to be a completely different conversation with a different henchman in his division. He probably had a couple million left, and he's like, what if I put an airplane in the building to make an escape? And the henchman was like, I don't know, sir, it's going to make the building pretty weak and dangerous to be in. And then Luthor was like, hey, have you seen my acid bowl? And we never heard from that henchman again, who I choose to call Otis. But Luthor then escapes with his airplane. Superman jumps after him, kind of leaving everybody else in the building, and smashes it, and he crashes in the water, and Superman thinks he's dead because for some reason Superman will never check if there's a body. Joke's on him, Luthor's not dead. And with that all finished, the economy is rebounding. So, a crazy story that I'm not sure I actually like. It's the weakest of the Luthor stories so far, though it has more of a plot than the dinosaur one. I really can't judge this story anymore. It's just kind of a mess of ideas, but it's so insane I kind of enjoy it. I'm just completely frazzled by it. I'm more just thinking about how Luthor came up with all this stuff from just the supplies he had, and he ended up with this. Okay, that's it for Superman number 5, Luthor's Incense Menace. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, and Fridays is now Bat Friday, where I tackle a Batman or Detective Comics issue. And until next time, let us ponder the question, where does Luthor get these ideas? Oh, and whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow? Let's really ponder why Luthor came up with this idea. Bye!